What's going on, Make Movers? Hope everybody is doing well. Today, I want to focus us in on a single word, a word that is often uttered, but probably never understood. But once it's understood and implemented, this one word can literally change your life. As a mover, as a leader, as an implementer, this one word is critical to your success. We try to do a lot of things in 24 hours, 7 days a week. Try to do a lot of things. We are expected to exceed the bar, whether it's personal or professional or pastoral, whether it's external or internal pressure, we are expected to exceed the bar. And this one word is a word that's necessary for you to understand and implement. And if not, mishandling this word will actually be detrimental to the next move you make and the moves you plan on making. So now that I've set you up, what is this word? I'm so glad you asked. This one word that I want to give to you and challenge you to make it a part of your everyday implementation is the word breathe. Yes, the word breathe. The word breathe is a singular word that has catastrophic impact. It's hard to make moves if you don't first learn how to breathe. And here's why you need to breathe, because some of the things that you are trying to do, you may literally be the first fruit in your family, amongst your friends, amongst your profession. What does that mean? That means is there is no blueprint. There is no one you can call, email, text, write a letter to, and ask them, how did you do this? You may literally be the first person making the attempt to do what it is you're trying to do. And if you do not breathe, you will add pressure upon yourself trying to do something in a time frame that may not be realistic. I believe in making moves. I believe in helping other people make moves. But most importantly, I believe in teaching us how to breathe, because some things that we're trying to do, we may not be realistic in the time frame by which we're trying to get it done. No man, no man has been able to do anything of major impact in 24 hours. Regardless of what you may read or think, there was some planning that took place prior to, and there has been some work done after the fact. There's been some conversations that took place prior to, and there's some conversations taking place after the fact. There's been some praying and some laboring. There's been some tears shed and some bloodshed. Regardless of what it is, that happened before and it happened after. It didn't happen in 24 hours start to finish. There's work that had to be done. And I want to challenge you to breathe, because breathing allows for you to really tap into the inner strength that you have to get done that which you desire to get done. Let me give you a true story. Several years ago, I was driving a truck that I was in love with, but that truck found itself in and out of the repair shop to the point where it's becoming very expensive to keep that truck on the road. My wife finally said, enough is enough. You need to go get you a new truck. You work hard, you do right by money, you deserve it, you should go get a new truck. It has been so long since I went to go buy a truck that they no longer allowed you to go on the website and find the prices of cars that you may have interest in. You had to literally go to the dealership and look at the car and engage in a back and forth. I had never up to this point owned a car right off the rack. All of my cars had been used, whether from a dealership or from a used car dealership, whatever it may be. And so this was the first time I've ever engaged in a conversation about a car with no miles on it, a current year car. And I got to the car dealership, and you know how we are when we get to the dealership. We really don't want to give any expression of interest in having a back and forth with a salesman or saleswoman. We want to be able to look in our own time frame and then leave there, really do a price comparison. We were there, and I was looking at cars, and I had gone literally to the used car section because I've been trained to go there because that's always been my history when it comes to buying cars. Looking at cars, I spotted a car I had interest in. I was looking at it, looking how many miles it had, looking at all of the other features and amenities. And this young brother sees me and starts coming my way. And I'm whispering to my wife, I really don't want to be bothered. It's a Friday evening. I just left the barbershop. We hadn't eaten dinner yet. So I really didn't want to be bothered. I wanted to get in and get out. And he comes down on his cart and he engages me in small talk. He asked me what college I went to. I said, I went to FAMU. I'm a proud Rattler. And he said, I went to FAMU as well. And I'm assuming he's telling me the truth, but we begin engaging in conversation. What I don't realize is, as he's engaged me in conversation, my defense mechanisms, the wall I put up, begin to go down because we begin to engage about our love for our Rattlers. Somewhere along that line, he is smooth enough to ask me, what kind of car are you looking for? I said, well, I'm looking for, a really good, reliable car. I usually keep cars for a long time, and so I want to make sure that every car I get, I'm not going to find myself in this same spot a couple of years from now. I want to make sure this car is going to last. And he said, well, can I show you some of the newer cars? I instantly said, no, I'm not interested in your newer car, because in my mind, I've never been on that side of a dealership before. I'm not going to start now. He said, well, sir, if you give me a chance, I promise you I can tweak your interest. So, okay, we go look at some of the new cars, and this is all important information for you to gather. We go look at the newer cars, and I find these cars, and he's right. I'm interested now. They're brand new, no miles whatsoever. So many amenities I never even knew could have in cars. Some I don't really care about, but some are tweaking my interest. Then the car I really wanted, because it was in a price range I'm willing to pay, but it wasn't my heart's desire. He said, let me go find the key. He couldn't find the key, and as he walks off, I told my wife, okay, now he's trying to play games. My wife said, why are you wasting your time trying to get a car you don't want? I said, because the price is right. She said, yeah, but that's not your heart desire, and you deserve to go after what you really want. The man leaves. We're having a conversation with my wife, and she walks off with the kids looking at other cars, and I'm standing there in a spot all by myself. I'm standing in between a car I'm really interested in and a car I'm settling for. My heart is pounding because I'm a really good negotiator, but in this situation, I find myself battling between settling and heart's desire. Heart's desire is more expensive than settling. My son asked a question. He said, well, may I pray? My son is 15 now, but he wasn't 15 then. And I'm looking at him with eyes of pride. I said, absolutely. My son begins to pray. And my son says these words, and I'm paraphrasing. Lord, my daddy's a really good man who works really hard to take care of his family. Lord, I pray that you give him his heart's desire and that you will make it easy on him. And he concludes the prayer. As he concludes the prayer, we go inside and look at some paperwork. The man shows me the keys of a brand new truck right on the rack. We're sitting there going back and forth. I feel this buzz and it's vibrating on my wrist. I look down at my Apple Watch and it says this: breathe. It says breathe. Now, this is not anything major to many people, but it's major to me for two reasons. Number one is because at that moment, I had never had my watch say breathe. Now, I would say it many times since then, but that was the first time since I had it, it had uttered the word breathe. Secondly, it was because at the moment when it said breathe, I was literally in an emotional wreck because I like to be in control in negotiations. That simple word, I showed to my wife. She started laughing. That simple word reminded me of the moment that I found myself in. It drew me back in and not worrying about what if this and what if this and what if this and what about this. Lock in here. I gave you that lengthy story for this one purpose, is that when you breathe, it allows you to tap back into the moment. It reminds you of what you're working after, what you're moving toward, what the grind is all about. Breathe. It lets you know what you can do and what you cannot do. Breathe. It lets you literally inhale and exhale. Take in, let out. And today, for all of you who are making moves, my charge to you: breathe. Because you may be trying to do way too many things in a short time frame, and you're going to create more havoc and hostility than you're going to create blessing and impact. It's only one of you. It's only one of me. Everybody should not get a yes. Everyone should not be able to control your day. You have to learn how to say no to people in love, of course, but say no. And here is why. Because if you're always saying yes to every invitation, that means that one person who is actually ordained for doesn't have a chance to even benefit from the invitation. Your yes may be blocking somebody else from actually saying yes. I know you may like being in front of everybody and being able to have your resume read out in public, but every opportunity is not your opportunity. Every door is not a door for you to walk in. When you breathe, you're able to draw yourself into the moment and really look at everything that comes with it, and you realize this is not for me. At this moment, this is not for me. At this time, this is not for me. Or when you breathe, you come to realization, it doesn't make sense, but I'm compelled to proceed because I believe this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I've been fortunate to work for companies, been fortunate to work with a company now, and I've been fortunate to start my own business and businesses. And I'm going to tell you, in all those things, the emotions are always high. Expectations are always high. Trying to help people is at a great level. And in moments when I find myself hostile and I find myself overwhelmed, I'm instantly reminded, breathe. You're not a savior. Breathe. Not a miracle worker. Breathe. And today I charge you, all of you who are making moves, I'm charging you on this day, breathe. Because when you breathe, you allow yourself to simmer down, reevaluate what's going on, re-implement what's necessary, and then execute. It's hard to execute when your breathing is not under control. So at my conclusion, to all of you who are making moves, again, your charge is simply breathe. And when you do it, and when you do it effectively, when you do it intentionally, guess what happens? The results that you've been working so hard for make better sense, and you're able to enjoy it because you breathe. That's your charge. Let's go make moves, not announcements. Thank you for your time. I want to encourage you to visit our website at www.darrickdmcgee.com. I'm also working on another website. I'll let you know about that at a later video. I also want to encourage you, if you're watching this on YouTube, to please subscribe to the YouTube channel. I upload a fresh video every Saturday. May at times upload more than that. But if you're subscribing to the page, you're able to get a notification when a new video has been uploaded. This is designed to help challenge you and propel you into greater levels. I thank you for being a rider on this ride. Now let's go make moves, not announcements. God bless.